That's what I'm looking at. The shipper guy, the truck on the right, the dark gray Power Stroke, amazing truck, you know. I don't know if it's 150 or 250. Actually no, it says Power Stroke, so it's either F250 or 350. Like amazing, lifted, I don't know, 425 tires. Well, I'm kidding, but it looks like super wide tires, custom rims, like amazing truck. I thought this guy was a construction guy, but the road is so rough here. So basically this guy comes over, I open the window, he says, what's your load number? And lucky for me, I printed out the dispatch sheet on the night before, and my load is number 2. So basically they're shipping a big crane, Liebherr LR1600. And all these guys, there's another guy, there's a couple of guys with 10 axles, and as I see, there's in front of this flatbed there's another guy. And I found this flatbed sitting on the side there when we turn from the pavement, and here you have to go like about a mile. So basically they're building, they are widening the you know, 2-lane road. They're making it a freeway, so it's gonna be 2 lanes on this side, 2 lanes on the other side, right? And I think 2 lanes is gonna be there, like that gonna be the opposite traffic, and we are facing north. There's about 50 miles to Sudbury, Ontario, going that way, right? And so this crane was rented from US, is my understanding, because my customs paperwork says returning to US. So the owner is in the States, and so it goes to Wyoming, probably. That's there because it says a job site. So I'm pretty sure, because you know, they don't want to ship, they don't want to pay 10 trucks to move this to the yard and then ship it again, right? So they found the next job with these big cranes, right? So the Wyoming is, I'm pretty sure it's not the base for this crane company. It's the next job site, but it's so big that it requires a lot of trucks. And I wanted to do the 90,000 pound track. If you remember, a few months ago I did that track, but it wasn't 90,000. It was like, I remember it was less than that. But I wanted to do it now, but I called the guy and he says sorry. Oh yeah, he sent me like a list. It was like 5 or 6 loads. He says give me a rate, and I said I'd be interested in that one, because that one is, you know, it's very narrow, right? Just like 6 feet tall. It's just heavy, you know. I like loads like that. You know, most states they don't even have to use any flags. But he says, oh sorry, after I sent him the quote, I said this is what I want, and he was okay with the price. But pretty much it's 2,000 miles, so it took me 4 hours to get here, and it started snowing this morning as I started heading north. Like, it's warm actually. It's like just, well, relatively, right? For me it's warm because it's basically +1, +2, like 34, 35 F. And I spent the night 60 miles south, because parking is hard to find here. Found like a little micro truck stop, more for cars, but they had coffee and stuff like that. And so then I drove here, and they sent me a map. They said go into this dirt stuff and just follow the road for 2 kilometers, or like 1.5 miles. And this guy, this poor flatbed with Ontario plate, aluminum Mack trailer tandem, was sitting there on the side of the road, and I see there was a huge D8 dozer pushing some rocks from the road. I thought he was waiting for that, and I went to ask the guy. I said, are you waiting for the dozer to clear the road in front of us? He says, no, I'm just not sure where to go. I said, are you going to the crane site? He says, yeah. And I said, let's go, because it's ahead of us. Oh, I'm gonna call my boss. I said, hold on. So I went and talked to the dozer operator, and that guy, I never saw such a big dozer in person, like up close and personal. D8, the guy sits like 2nd floor, you know, of a building, and it's so loud. When I waved to him, I wanted to ask him, I said, can we go, you know, around you? He had to stop the engine because we couldn't hear each other. he opened the window, stopped the engine, and I'm looking at him like this. So we're trying to get to the job site where they dismantled the big crane. He says, yeah, that's where the guys went this morning. And I said, do we have to wait? Are we waiting for you to move this? And he says, no, just go around me. And that's where all the rock trucks were. Like, we are sitting there with this guy, and all these rock trucks are passing. And then I told this guy, okay, I said, you go ahead, I'll follow you. And he started driving so slow, and because the road is like, it's not a road, it's kind of like driving on a vegetable patch, you know, like when you have a vegetable garden, it's all rocks. And like for these guys, I don't know why I'm pointing that way, but there was a guy behind us in a big rock truck, you know, like one of those Cats 777 something. That poor guy was like, probably so angry with us, because we drove like 3 miles per hour, you know, and then I had to switch all my these buttons over here. So I switched on all my locks, you know, all the axles on the differentials, because there was a couple of hills I thought I would get stuck. But before I left the pavement, you know, one look at this mess, you know, like I'm sitting on the pavement in the left turn lane, where they told me to turn left into the dirt area, and I see a dozer leveling the road, and I see that it's pretty steep, you know, lots of very steep ups and downs. And what I did, I started my PTO, right, this one, and went up there and I lifted my trailer as high as it would go, position 5, you know, and I lifted the rear. Before it was position 4, now I maximum position 5. So now I'm like in the front, I think I'm about, I don't know, 2 feet off the ground, and that kind of like really saved the day. And that's another reason why you should never ever buy a mechanical detached trailer if you plan to do something like this, because if I had a mechanical trailer, I wouldn't be able to go on this road, like, honestly. Like, well, I could go, but I would be stuck. I wouldn't be able to go, you know, over these there was a couple of like really bad, you know, little hills, and it goes so down, and then I was looking at the mirror, and no, like I didn't even hit the ground, you know, with the middle of the trailer, because I'm able to raise it. But anyway, what I'm trying to show you guys, just bear with me for a second. So we have this, where is that? So we have this, right? That's what we're using for the back. But I thought, because I'm pretty sure I'll be backing over there, and I wanted to put this on the back like I usually do over the cab, but it's snowing, right? So instead, and you might recognize that these, right, I lost the regular ones, and so I bought these fancy ones made out of aluminum, like very super high quality. I'm talking about the frame. The problem is that I have these over here, right? I have these brackets where I was doing like driving video, and this one I pointed myself, and that bracket, something is wrong with it. It's not fitting in here, you know. And so what I did, I went on Amazon Canada, and I paid another 20 bucks, but I bought the regular frame, like GoPro frame. So basically, let's see. All right, yeah, so hopefully it's not as poorly designed as that one, and this one has its own. Oh, this will be cool. So I'm going to use one of these for, why are we not turning here? That's the problem with this. How do you sell this so stiff? But this looks like pretty much the same design as a factory one, but I'll probably just use one over here. Wow. But then the other one I can use in my Dodge Challenger. Okay, so let's see if it's gonna. Wow, again, it's stiff. Son of a gun, you know? The screw just doesn't want to go in, and that was the problem with that one. So basically, I thought I was buying a GoPro pot, which they all made in China, but I thought maybe these ones, or this one is loose, because on the previous one I couldn't even move it. See? Oh, and this guy in this fancy pickup truck, he told me that actually I won't have to wait as long, so for sure they're loading me in front of this flatbed guy. Oh, wait a second, I forgot to change my logbook. Like for now we can show off duty, right? Well, technically I'm in the driver's seat, but I can be here, what, I don't know how long it's gonna take him. Two 10-axle guys. He says it's still pretty tight. Of money. You buy these and they don't work. Check this out. That's what happens when you only have one cup of coffee, right? Like I was thinking, why did they give me this, right? Like you saw when I unpacked, this frame was sitting on this, right? And look what I have here. I have the same stuff, and no matter how hard I tried, it wouldn't go in on that existing frame, because that one is from GoPro, and I thought, wait a second. It came up assembled with this, so all I gotta do is just take out what I had before there and use the one that came with the body. And it's a bit tough, but you know, at least it's, you know, it's gonna be very very sturdy, hopefully. Wow, that's the, we still have a problem. Yeah, it's not. See? So if I'm driving, anyway, so still more work is required. But just talk to the main guy over here. That I talked to him on Sunday, I think. Yeah, he was here. I talked to him on the cell phone. I said, when are we loading? Monday or Tuesday? The broker told me Monday, and I look at the paperwork. It says April 2nd, which is Tuesday. And he confirmed, he says, yeah, nobody's going to be there Monday. I'll just be there Tuesday in the morning. And he just came over, he says, and he double checked, and he says, do you have a bill of lading? I said, I can make one. I got a printer. And he said, oh, you fancy guys. He says, yeah, we need something, even a handwritten one. So now that's what I got to do. I got to open my computer and create a bill of lading. I wanted to do it later. Normally they don't care, but actually I can even give him this. Because that's like a load information thing. I can give him this and sign my name. But if the guy wants a bill of lading, I'll give him a bill of lading. So one guy's already loaded. I wanted to do this load, but I'm glad these guys took it. So it turns out there's 3 guys from the same company, and they have Alberta plates. Higgin, both of them something trucking, but you see these guys have they all have Freightliners. So this guy has a Coronado, a regular 3-axle truck, tandem Jeep, and look at the extension on his neck. So that looks like 80 inches, whatever, like 83. And then he has a, I can see, well, actually it looks like a mechanical trailer because I see he has pins over there on the front. But basically the guy loaded this big track. They say it's 90,000 pounds, and actually it looks pretty massive. And you see, like, when I talked to the broker, I said, so which way these guys are going, like the guys with a heavy load? Because this company said they will only do a load for my broker that I'm dealing with if he gives them all the heavy ones. And there were 3 heavy loads, so like this one track, then there's of course another track, and then there's something else, probably the housing of the crane that's usually heavy. And so they got all these 3 loads, and so I missed this one. But then I realized that Minnesota, hold on, let me just scale a bit. I realized that Minnesota has frost laws, and I wouldn't be able to go there because they're only giving me, depending on your spacing on the pusher in the back, they only give you either 14,000 per axle, or if you're 9 feet 1 inch between the axle 2 and axle 4 on the truck, they give you 17,000 per axle. 1 inch and you get 3,000 per axle difference, increase. So I'm 54 inches and that's 108, and that's exactly 9 feet. But you know, it's icy, it's snowy, so maybe I'll slip when I'm measuring. But anyway, so I don't need that. I don't need any trickery, because, but with this one, I would definitely be, because 90,000 plus my empty weight of 60, 150, they would not give. Basically, they said, let's say, even if I have that 9.1 between axle 2 and 4, which I don't have, they said they would give me 600 pounds per inch of the width of the front tire. So I'm pretty sure I can get like 20,000 pounds in there if I can move enough weight forward. But here they would give me 51, right, if I have 9.1, or 40, what is it, I said 42 in my current setup. But on the back they give you 68,000 pounds, you know, but that's still not enough for this thing. This thing is just too massive, you know. But you see, this guy has like a typical Western Canada heavy haul. So we have a Jeep, like regular truck, right? Regular 3-axle truck. And then you have a big neck on your trailer, and then you have a tandem Jeep, and then you have a 3-axle trailer and a tandem booster. See, 10 axles. So that's pretty serious setup. And in the back, I don't see any nitro boosters. I think it's a regular fixed setup. Yeah. But yeah, now we are closer, and they told me I'll be the next guy after they load probably like all these 3 trucks from this company, and then I'll be the next one. And I talked to the guy. I said I need you guys to load it at an angle, because I did some super scientific calculations. You know how you can approximate the weight of the load, like your axle weights, when you know your kingpin position, like from kingpin to the middle of the axle group in the back. So basically your kingpin to, you know, your kingpin measurement anyway. So if you know that, and then if you know your axle weights when you're empty, then you can approximately calculate how much you'll weigh. I did a video about this a long time ago, but sometimes it's helpful because okay, I have this gauge, but I didn't calibrate it since I got the 60 tons, so it only shows me my 3 axles on the truck, the last 3 axles. But maybe I should calibrate it, because sometimes that's what, see, like in this case, I'm trying. The most important thing is, I know I have it's not that heavy, right? It might be 60,000 pounds, so it'll be 120, and they allow me up to 68 in Minnesota, so I can load a lot on the trailer. And the main concern is not to overload the truck, and I can move a lot of weight to the front. That's why my fifth wheel now is as far as I can go. Like I have probably, I don't know, 6 inches when I turn between the truck frame and the trailer frame. So that's where people say that's where the serious money is. But don't forget, when you have all these things, all these components, you're much longer than normal, right? And now you need escorts, you know, you need pilot cars, sometimes you need cops, and those guys don't work for free. You know, they're very expensive, and the load can pay a lot of money, but then, you know, after you pay all the expenses, there's not much left. Anyway, yeah, the snow doesn't help a little bit at all. I just cleaned up the mirror, and 2 seconds later it's again, for some reason, this side. So yeah, the snow, I guess, is coming from here. This side gets snowed in. This side is good. See? This side, nothing. And there's a turn right in front of this red truck on the left. There's a little driveway, and that's all those guys did. So they go like this and then this way, and then they back into that little driveway, and then they go here, and then they back under a crane. And you can see probably in the distance the crane is hooked up to something. I see guys walking on the top. Oh, it's probably a track, because the second Freightliner is now over there, and this third one, you see the white one parked next to the red truck facing me. So that's the last one. And after, so it's not 2 trucks, it's 3 trucks, and then it's my turn. But yeah, and so I told him that when I did those calculations, now I know where the front of the load has to be. You know, it has to be about 13 feet. The front of that big platform I'm picking up has to be about 13 feet from my kingpin. And my deck is not that long enough, because this piece is 24 feet. And I thought my deck was 26. I just double checked, I measured, it's 24. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy here, but I thought I had a 26 deck. Like, what the heck? And I removed those ramps in the back. If you guys remember, when I got this trailer, there were ramps, like they were like ramps bolted into the floor right before the first axle on the trailer, and I removed them because they were taking a lot of space on the deck. And I thought with those I had 24 feet, and without them I had 26. And now I just walked in my, but of course it's not exact measurement, because I was just using my, you know, actual feet. So my shoes, my boots are a bit longer than 12 inches, I think. But anyway, so the thing is that I have to raise it like that. You see, like that guy put the end of the track on his rear over there. It's like his trailer is very weird. He has no ramps between the axle 1 and the trailer. You see, like, if you have a machine, well, it's not, the difference is not that big, but all his tires look pretty small. I don't know, it's probably like 255 tire or something, I don't know. Doesn't look like my tire, 275. But anyway, I need to load it like that. And I told the guy, I said, you guys okay? Hold on, which way? I need to make it small, otherwise my face gets, you know, big. So I told him, so I need to put the front either on blocks, but the rear has to go on my where my axles are. So it's gonna be sitting at an angle. And this guy says, well, I don't know, it's a flat piece, right? And I said, well, if you load it like that, just straight on the deck, I'm gonna be over the Minnesota limit on my truck. And what am I supposed to do? I cannot go through Manitoba, because then it'll be 6 axles only, because they don't recognize the pusher, and I cannot have 4 axles on the trailer. I'll have to raise it. So now I have 120,000 pounds of gross weight on 6 axles, which is even worse than Minnesota, right? And so I have to go through, and I cannot go through Michigan like, oh, I asked these guys, there's a step deck behind me, there's a step deck in front of me, they're getting counterweights, right? So they're regular, under 80,000 pounds, not overweight, not oversized. So I said, how are you guys going? Because we're all going to the same place, Wyoming. And they said, we're just going through Port Huron. And I'm like, wait a second, how do you go through Port Huron? And as well, they just go back south on the 69, then it becomes 400 towards Toronto, then they go west on 401, 402. And that's, of course, the easiest way. But I'm overweight. I'm gonna be overweight with this thing, so I cannot go through Michigan, right? Or maybe I can, actually. Because, yeah, there was just a bulletin over there saying that they raised, they took off the frost law in the southern part of Michigan. So you know what? I'm gonna call my permit lady and ask about this, because that would be the fastest way. Because if not, I'll go like I wanted to go through like north, and you see the weather's pretty bad. Go north through Thunder Bay, and then cross into Minnesota, and Minnesota has weight restrictions, you know. But if I go through Michigan, and let's say there's no frost laws, it's beautiful, you know, and they recognize all my axles, then I just go towards Chicago, and from Chicago to Wyoming, you know. Sit down and wait till it's my turn, and I'm running with I'm still running with all my axles locked, all my 3 locks. So axle 1 is hooked up to axle 2, kind of like 4x4, and then I have differentials locked. Otherwise, here it's very easy to get stuck in this. And I'm looking at the back there in the mirror. They're still working on setting up that guy. So that guy that is under a crane, the last guy out of these 3, they just still hooking up his axles. Like, he's not even loaded yet. I see right now they're connecting the booster. But the good news is that I'm still ahead of all those guys, ahead of step decks, and because, you know, they're loading the heavy stuff first. All right, I finally finished. 3:30. So I've been here 6 hours. Or rather 6.5. check the airbags. Yeah, I checked all the chains and looked underneath the trailer. Yeah, the middle beams touched the ground on that big hill. But guess why? Because again, the rear I guess I can disconnect my locks because we're almost there. But basically the same story happened. So the airbags were all down, no air, because the switch flipped in the opposite direction. Alright, now we have to let these guys go. Watch the traffic, okay? I'll be right back. I'm back. Actually, we're doing pretty good. That hill was not that bad. Alright, let me just switch on my lamps. What? Everything disappeared. But usually that's what happens, you know, with these big loads. Sometimes it takes takes a whole day to load. And it's already 4 o'clock.